Hello everybody, welcome to our program.
Today we are going to talk about Atatürk's life. Let's start with his childhood. Atatürk was born in Salonika in 1881. His father was Ali Rıza and mother was Zübeyde. His mother wanted her child to receive religious education, but his father wanted his child to receive modern education. So first, he went to Hafız Efendi local primary school, which was giving religious education. Then he went to Şemsi Efendi primary school, which was giving modern education. I want to say something on this topic. Throughout his life, Atatürk was grateful to his father for this decision in the choice of school. While he was going to Şemsi Efendi school, he lost his father. After he had been working for a while at Rapla farm with his mother's half-brother Hüseyin, he returned to Salonika at the request of his mother, who was worried that he would be uneducated. He settled with his aunt and finished his school. He enrolled in the Salonika Junior High School, but after a while he decided to be a soldier.
Why did he want to be a soldier?
Because he impressed by his father's sword and the uniforms of military students in his neighborhood. So he won the Salonika Military Middle School despite his mother's objections. While he was studying there, his math teacher, Mustafa, who was fond of Namık Kemal, named him as Mustafa Kemal. And then he went to Monastir Military High School, in which he improved his French, and he was interested in not only literature but also history. He commenced military college in Istanbul. In 1902, he graduated with the rank of lieutenant and continued his education in military academy. He completed his education and graduated with the rank of staff captain. After a successful education life, we can start military service.
We will tell you about his military life with brief information. It is impossible to fit his successes into a program. Afterwards, we will give you information about Atatürk that you may not have heard before. Appointment to Damascus. He was appointed to 5 armies in Damascus, which was his first place of duty as a staff captain. When he was in Syria, he established the Homeland and Freedom Association with his close friends in not only Salonika, but also other states.
31 March case. It was a revolt by somebody who against the constitutionalism. Mustafa Kemal did military service as a chief of staff and he named the army as Hareket Ordusu. His service in this army shows that he is constitutionalist. The revolt was suppressed by the army.
Picardy maneuvers. He participated in military exercises jointly organized by French and British troops with Fethi Okyar as an observer, emphasizing the importance of air forces in the future.
Here we can understand how much care he takes for both self-improvement and his innovative personality.
Yes, certainly.
Tripolitania War. The war had started in 1911. Its reason was Italy's raw material requirement. Ottoman didn't send soldiers because Egypt was invaded by England. Although Mustafa Kemal and some of volunteer soldiers rescued Derna, Tobruk, and Benghazi as banded Tripolitania people together, Tripolitania and Dodecanese Islands was given to Italy because of failed Uschi Treaty. During the Tripolitania War, Mustafa Kemal was promoted to Major.
Balkan Wars. After Ottoman Empire had lost the First Balkan War, Mustafa Kemal was appointed Chief of Staff of the Bolayer Corps during the two Balkan Wars. Mustafa Kemal crusaded the war in not only Gelibolu, but also Bolayer. He played an active role in saving Edirne and its surroundings.
I remembered something when you mentioned the role of Mustafa Kemal in Gelibolu.
Can you explain what are you talking about?
Of course I can. His duty at Gelibolu positively affected his success in the Battle of Çanakkale. You know, it's very important to know the region in wars.
Yes, you're right.
Military attaché in Sofia. In 1913, he was appointed as the military attaché in Sofia. In 1914, he was promoted to the rank of the lieutenant colonel. His duty as military attaché lasted for more than a year. He met with foreign politicians in order to improve himself in politics. During his duty, he joined a prom with Janissary costume. It shows his commitment to his culture and nationalism.
Now we are going to study World War I.
We will talk about Atatürk's achievements under the title of Three Fronts because he didn't play a role in every front.
Let's talk about Çanakkale. Çanakkale Front. He played an important role in winning the war by serving in Ereburnu, Jonkbayırı, and Anafartalar. He knew where the enemy was going to attack.
So, what personality trait does this reflect?
It reflects his farsightedness. If he hadn't predicted this, we might even have lost the war. During the battle, Mustafa Kemal was hit by shrapnel above his heart. Thanks to a watch in his breast pocket, his life was saved. I am urging you not to attack, but to die, was said by Atatürk in this war. He became colonel because of his success in this war.
Caucasus Front. Turkish army, which was under the command of Enver Pasha, attacked against Russia with Sarıkamış operation. Lots of Turkish soldiers lost their life because of heavy snow. So, Russia invaded eastern Anatolia. Mustafa Kemal, who went to the front line, retrieved Muş and Bitlis.
Syria Front. He was appointed commander of the 7th Army, but resigned due to disagreements. However, he was later appointed as Lightning Army's group commander and saved Aleppo.
His departure to the Samsun and Congress. In 19 May 1919, Mustafa Kemal was sent to Samsun to remove chaos, but he went to Samsun and started the war. Mustafa Kemal published Tavza circular which says that the responsible of the chaos are Greeks. Afterwards, he went to Amasya, Erzurum, and Sivas respectively. He aimed to raise the people's awareness by using congress and circulars. Also, he submitted his resignation while he was going to Erzurum.
There is something which makes me surprised.
I know the thing which you are talking about. Although we know the birth year of Atatürk, we don't have an exact birthday information. 19 May was chosen by Atatürk as his own birthday.
Opening of the Great National Assembly of Turkey. Mustafa Kemal went to Ankara and opened the Great National Assembly of Turkey there. He was chosen as a president. Both East, which was against Armenians, and South, which was against Italians, fronts were won. Some wars were commanded by him in West Front.
West Front. When Kütahya-Eskişehir war had lost, the responsible of the failure was taken to Mustafa Kemal. So he wanted to take legislative and executive power, and supreme commander law was brought out. Sakarya Battle and Battle of the Commander-in-Chief was won by Atatürk and amazing Turkish citizens.
Atatürk's death. Lots of meetings had been done with Entente powers after we won the West Front. Mustafa Kemal was elected the first president of Turkey, and finally independent Turkish Republic was established. Mustafa Kemal made many reforms.
One of the novelty was the surname law.
Yes, you're right. Lots of surname had been suggested to Mustafa Kemal, but he liked Atatürk the most. By early 1938, he began to feel anorexia and weakness. Not only the itching in certain parts of the body, but also the noise floods made them suspect about the ants in Çankaya mansion, and spraying was done. Dr. Nihat Reşat Belger suspected liver disease and diagnosed Atatürk with cirrhosis. He wasn't able to eat something. During the examination, he turned his head a little to the right, looking at the doctor, and said "Aleyküm selam." That was his last word. And he died on 10th of November 1938. His body was buried to Anıtkabir, the construction of which took 9 years. And every year on November 10, 9:05, sirens sound, a minute of silence is held, and national mourning is made in memory of Atatürk. Atatürk is such a great leader that he will be remembered by not only the Turkish, but also everyone forever.
Many important people like Obama, Aziz Sancar, Putin, and Merkel are still visiting Anıtkabir.
Now we will talk about some of Atatürk's unknown features.
Atatürk loved reading books. While he was reading, he used to take notes. If he underlines the sentences with red pencil, it means that he agrees with that idea. If he underlines the sentences with blue pencil, it means that he disagrees with that idea.
He was a very well-dressed man. He was tear his clothes very much. He would prefer to wear a white shirt. He didn't like blue suit.
His favorite foods were dry bean and rice.
His biggest dream was going on an international trip, which he can research not only Turkish history, but also language before he died.
He loved animals. He had a dog whose name was Fox, and he had a pigeon house built in the Çankaya mansion where a private caregiver took care of it.
As a person who fought hand-to-hand with the enemy on the front, his most interesting feature was that he became ill when he saw blood outside the battlefield.
He spoke German, Arabic, Bulgarian, Persian, French, English, and Russian, as well as Turkish, which is his mother tongue.
With Turkish, he knew 8 languages in total. It made me surprised.
Not only you, but also me.
He had a sportsman personality. Every day he would ride, go swimming, and play billiards.
His most successful subject was math. His interest in positive science continued through his life.
After his death, he was awarded the title of Leader of the Century by UNESCO. In my opinion, there is no one who deserves this title more than him.
Yes, you're right. He deserves it to the fullest. He has been on the cover of Atatürk Time magazine twice.
There are many sayings about Atatürk by important people. We would like to share a few of them with you. Franklin Roosevelt, US President. My sadness is that my craving to meet this man is no longer possible to come true. Professor Walter Wright. He was not a mere dictator in pursuit of personal gain and fame, but a hero trying to lay solid foundations for future generations. Chicago Tribune newspaper. One of the most remarkable men in history has passed the world stage. We have a question from our audiences. Why is he still not forgotten? Why is he still remembered after so much time since his death?
Because he struggles for independence one by one, denying that a nation's destiny is to live under the yoke of others.
Because he showed his versatile personality, which attached importance to art, sports, and science, to the end while the foundations of the young country were laid.
Because he made great improvements on the road from nothing to existence of the country.
Because he knew that a nation can only progress through education. Because it parts contemporary education and training above all else.
Because he defended the rights of women and housing first.
Because he knew that agriculture, soil, farmer, and peasant are the lifeblood of this nation. It traces them for never tilting their heads forward.
Because he knew and trusted that young people are enough to say the future of this country.
Because he has never been distant from his people and was never an arrogant leader who looks down on his people.
Because he is a world-renowned genius.
Because of all these reasons and thousands more that we cannot count, he is still not forgotten. He still lives in our hearts.
Our program, which we introduced Atatürk, the most beautiful thing that happened to Turkey and even the world, has come to the end. Thanks for listening us.